Hey guys, Rob Mitchell, video number 2, market mapping, finding trading opportunities any time of the day. First off, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's a risk of loss trading futures. Yeah, don't use the grocery money for trading. Finding trading opportunities. A market map is about knowing what's normal or not, so you can tell what kind of trading environment you're in or are going to be in and make better trading decisions. So what's the best way to see what opportunities generally exist for a given time of the day or night? For this one, I'm going to use the NASDAQ, a map for Monday. And what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at that range 1. Starting on Sunday night, that first 30-minute period is expected to go about 59 handles, in the NASDAQ. And then after that time, it's going to go down to about 30, and it'll dip down around 26 or so. And this is colored so that you can see that in the grand scale of things, these are actually a little bit on the small side, And then you get over here where the European comes in, and you get a couple of about an hour there of pretty close to 40 or better. 40 or better. So one of the questions you might ask yourself is, what is the minimum amount that I need to be able to catch a trend? If you're a trend trader, you want to know what that scale is, because if you trade a cycle that goes A, B, C, D, and it takes say 30 points to do the A, B, C, D part of it, then that would suggest that by the time you get to that, that opportunity may be losing its validity, And so you want to trade where these guys are a little bit bigger, and that choice that you make is up to you. If you're going to trade over longer periods of time, then you could go to the second tranche there, and you could see that for any given period of time, 1 hour or an hour and a half, or 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So what's interesting about that is, say for this interval here, minus 22, 2.5 hours, I can get that many times over by the time I get over to A period here, or the beginning of the day, the first period of the day. I have like 100 there, And so there's a tremendous amount of opportunity over in this portion of the day. And so that's where a lot of the opportunity is. Does that mean that you wouldn't trade over in here? Not necessarily. In fact, you might like the way the market behaves over in here. It's a little bit easier going. It's not as violent and quick. And so that's a choice that you make. But you can glance at these maps and see where the opportunity is just by scanning through and even just looking at the color. And you can see it in multiple dimensions up to 2.5 hours, as I described there. What's another one that we could use for that? We could use the ultra map for that as well. And we could look at how does the market tend to trend out. So on that other one, we were looking at the range. There are other things on that table that we could have looked at. We'll do that in other videos. But I can see that from minus 30 period, I tend to go out at 80% from that extreme out towards minus 28. And I tend to do that over here as well. And so you get some nice trends here, 80% that the first extreme is at minus 25 and the second extreme is at minus 23. And here's another one that goes out any number of periods. And when the Europeans show up, it goes all the way out to there. So you get a first extreme somewhere around minus 23 or so, or somewhere along in here. And you get a second extreme over in here as Europe comes on board with that. Here's another interesting one. When you get over here, what's the probability that minus 10 or the 2 a.m. slot for Pacific time zone, or minus 10 if you're using smart periods, which I strongly recommend, is that that's only 10% to be the extreme to those. And so once the European gets started, it looks like it kind of gets quiet. That would be one way of interpreting that. By the time you get over to the A period, particularly in the NASDAQ, it almost always takes out, going all the way back to minus 8, just in that 30-minute period. And so you got like 120 handles of range in there, and based on the other map, and on this one it shows that it does that very directionally, is one way of understanding that it does it directionally. So this is a way that you can glance at these maps just in like a couple of seconds, see what the opportunity is, where it is, and then you can decide whether or not it's worth your time to be trading over in that time of the day. I could also look at where I don't want to be trading. By the time I get over into this portion of the day, it might be a little bit quieter, but I might not want to trade in the real aggressive moving section, so I'll trade over in here. But this is also telling us how the personality of the market changes as it goes through the day, in addition to other ways that you could understand these maps. But for this one, we're just doing where's the opportunity. We've done that on the ultra map, and we did it on the super map, just in simple broad stroke measures that you can just glance and take a look and see what you got there. All right. And so always test before you trade, and trade the way you test. You want to make sure that you're using the maps in a way that you personally understand. That's what I got for you on this one, guys. Consider subscribing to the market maps at IndicatorSmart.com/market mapping. And we also teach that in the trading rooms. I teach, my entire trading room is wrapped around market mapping, oil trading room. We use the oil market there because it's very consistent. And Steve also does some mapping over in the stock index trading room. Thanks for joining me on this. Thank you. And we'll see you on the next one in the series. Thank you.